DealMachine.com/black-friday-demos would be the link to go to. It's in my bio. If you guys want to switch over there. And now I'm just waiting for Webinar Jam to fully start. It's telling me maybe takes 15 or 30 seconds. And we are live. Hello, BJ. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the DealMachine Black Friday Demos 2025, our third year doing a special 3-night event. So thank you guys so much. I'm David Lecco, and this is BJ Ishun. And you guys made it to the first night of the DealMachine Black Friday Demos. We're going to give you guys behind the deals, what's working right now. And I would love to hear, for starters, where everyone is located. And we encourage networking during our events so everybody can help each other out. BJ, where are you calling in from tonight? Awesome. Oh, and you guys, I'm hearing you guys can't see the presentation. And Elise, when you typed, I think we could hear you typing, so you might want to mute. All right, perfect. So let's get the presentation going. Here you go. So I'll wait for Elise to see if you guys can confirm that you can see the presentation now. Thank you so much. But I'm seeing the chat already pour in with locations. BJ is in Ohio, and oh, sorry, where were you? That's right. So if you guys don't know BJ, he's actually one of the most successful customers that I met this year, and he's only 20 years old. He's done over 100 wholesale deals. So a really, really successful story of somebody who really focused on taking action. So he's here to help break that down for you, but we're going to get to more on that in just a moment. We've got Mike from Texas. We've got Austin from Montana. Awesome. We got Joe from Dallas. I'm actually in Austin, Texas, so not too far. We've got Gerald from Indianapolis, Kevin from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Mike from Houston. A lot of Texas in the house tonight. We've got Yuri from New Hampshire, Noah from Fresno, so literally both ends of the country. Claudia from Austin, Texas. We're neighbors, Claudia. Welcome. And we've got Joseph from New Jersey. We've got Jerry from Portugal. That's amazing. I actually just interviewed Syrian who is flipping land from Ireland, and it's become more and more common that people from Europe are coming over to the U.S., virtually with their business. So very cool. We got Rebecca Moore from Texas, Natalie Hall from South Carolina, Kyle Jackson from Seattle, Patrick from Chico, California. Amazing. Sarasota, Florida. Again, total opposite ends of the country and everything in between. We've got another one from Austin, Texas. Hello, Grace. Nice to meet you. We've got Alb from St. Louis, and I grew up in St. Louis, and I was born and raised there. So nice to see that you're there too. We've got the closer. His name is just the closer with 600 plus wholesale deals since 2012. And I have an idea about who that is because his license plate also says the closer. And I see him in the DealMachine Facebook community. So love that you made it here on the Webinar Jam. We've got more and more people coming in. Samson from Toronto. A lot of Chicago. I love it. So love it. Everybody's coming from all across the country. Chicago's a great city too. But no matter where you're from, tonight's not about theory or fluff. It's about showing you what's actually working with real investors in 2025. You'll see live demos, real results. And we've got a giveaway at the end for everyone who sticks around. And if we do it right, we're going to go as viral as this man did in 2015 on his jet ski video. If you remember that DJ Khaled reference, you'll see, again, real results with BJ. He's 20 years old. He's done 100 wholesale deals. You're going to see a live demo of DealMachine. We're going to call somebody in a market of your choice and give you the lead. And we're also going to give you guys a Black Friday sale. I saw people DMing me throughout the last few weeks asking if DealMachine was going to have a Black Friday deal. The answer is yes. And you're here to see what it is. You must stay on the live to be entered in the contest for a free year of DealMachine Pro, which is a $1,800 value that you'll get for free. We'll take everyone who's on the webinar at that time, put them in the wheel of names, and spin that thing right in front of you to pick who's going to be the lucky winner. So DealMachine was created 7 years ago now. Originally, I was working for somebody that said his goal was to retire by the time he was 40. And that was really inspiring to me. He was going to do it through real estate. He had 5 cash flowing rental properties. And so I really wanted to see what this was all about. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad as 60% of us have to get started, and we're inspired by that. But then kind of putting your feet on the ground and making it happen was a bit of a struggle. I didn't find any deals on Zillow that would, cash flow and that would be covered by the rent payments. So I could hold it as a rental property and let it appreciate and also have some money left over every month after I paid all the bills. That's when I realized at a local meetup that you have to find better deals off market. I was instructed to go look for rundown houses and get in touch with them. And originally, we built the tool for helping people do just that. Is when they see a rundown house, they could press the button, they could send a direct piece of mail to that owner asking if they want an offer on their house. And that was how everybody was taught to get a new deal. And we are very good at that today, but we've evolved, as you will see, because we noticed there was a problem. There was a problem that bad data on ownership and how to get in contact with them was killing good deals. And that is why we evolved to focus a lot on premium, accurate data at a price that is too good to be true. The hardest part today isn't finding, properties that look run down, but it's trusting that data. And bad data wastes time, it kills deals, and it burns budgets. You might feel like Dwight, but we're here to help. Don't worry. So how we leveled up this year for you was lot numbers. This came to my attention doing interviews with wholesalers in the Collective Genius who do 100 deals per year plus. And they specifically had the best stories about properties that they actually purchased, and it had a double lot. So they bought the rundown house, and instead of paying what they normally would for a rundown house, and they actually could pay a little bit more because they could split off the second lot and they could sell that for $80,000. And then they could even break even on the flip if they wanted to, right? They could pay the owner that much more. And so the way to find those was tricky. Everybody was asking me, how do you find properties on double lots? Well, we did research. I found out that every county has the lot number separated by a comma or a hyphen. So we changed our lot number field from a numeric field to a text field. So you can search for commas or hyphens and find those properties on double lots. So you can make $80,000 on the split off lot and even break even on the flip, or profit on both, or beat somebody who's offering just thinking it's a single lot, et cetera. So those are going to be, those are tools that we gave you earlier this year. Pre-foreclosures that have been inactive for 150 days, we remove those from the pre-foreclosure status. So that way the data you're pulling is even more relevant, making your marketing costs more efficient. We did make the corporate owned smarter. Previously, it would actually show you properties with trust. But, my parents own their primary residence in a trust. So they were showing up as corporate owned, but a lot of people use that filter to find people that were treating rental properties as a business. And so having my parents come up in that data wasn't exactly what people wanted. So we made this smarter, again, by removing trust. So the data that you're pulling and marketing to is going to make your marketing costs more efficient. The data is more relevant. We also gave you a new quick filter for HOA liens. So these are properties where they have an HOA, a homeowners association, and they have not been complying. Maybe they have a dumpster in their house and they didn't have money to finish the project. So they kept the dumpster in there for too long, and the HOA is sending them letters. They're fining them. Eventually, the HOA has to throw up their arms and just put a lien on their house. So if they were to sell their house, they would have to pay the HOA off first, which is one of many types of liens you can find in DealMachine, but one that does show sign of distress. And we know that real estate investors have an opportunity to provide value when there's a distress or a stressful situation that we can help with a cash offer. We also gave you a smarter likely to move filter. So do you guys remember that story back from 2015 where Target was under fire because they started sending a teenager who was 15 years old diapers and things that she would need whenever she was pregnant in the advertisements? And it turned out the parents were all up in arms. They're like, how could you be promoting pregnancy to my teenage daughter? And it turned out that the daughter was actually pregnant before the parents even knew it. And Target knew it because of the buying patterns, with the daughter's credit card or online login based on things that you would buy during pregnancy. And so that's kind of exactly the type of data that powers this likely to move filter. But we've now removed properties that have recently sold. So that way there's not an overlap in people who are likely to move based on that consumer data and the properties that actually have already moved. So it's, again, more relevant, more honed in. It makes your marketing more efficient. And thank you to the closer. It says DealMachine is better than all others by providing contact information of LLCs. We haven't even got to that, but you are very kind for saying that. We've worked really hard on the data, so I really appreciate the compliment. It's what our focus has been and will continue to be. We even added if a house has solar panels. in the last year. So another one for those people who wanted the double lots. Sometimes the double lots were very skinny and they didn't have a lot of road access. So we gave you the lot width and the lot depth so that you can pull properties that have a certain amount of frontage, meaning that it would be actually splittable to build a second property on it. It'd be more valuable, in another word. And we gave you a smarter tire landlord filter as well, which is people that have owned their rental properties for over 15 years. And so they may be interested in selling their rental properties. That's not all. I'm going to give you a few more things just as a recap. A lot of people started exporting data from DealMachine when we started providing these phone numbers as part of your subscription, which is great. It's been a huge driver for the growth of real estate investors, and we've given you more export tools. The reason why people wanted to export was if they're calling over 10,000 homeowners a month, like BJ, who's calling 150,000 homeowners a month, and I believe still is with 30 callers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right? Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll have to give us an update on that. Actually, it's been a couple months since we did our original podcast, so I can't wait for the update. But basically, we've got the DealMachine dialer. It's good for calling for solo entrepreneurs. But if you have 30 callers, a multi-line dialer is going to be beneficial. And so people wanted to see all types of data in their export. So they're like, can you export the lot size? Can you export this and that? We give you guys, if the phone is prepaid, what service provider it is, and the usage in the last 2 months. Nadalio, one of our customers, said 90% of their leads came from phones that had this export of medium and heavy usage in the last 2 months. And so they've even started filtering that out based on the data in the export. We've given you DNC scrubbing on the export. So as real estate investors, we always we generally operate that we're not selling anything. So we can call the DNC list, but if you're doing anything else like trying to get listings as an agent, you would need to scrub the DNC and not call people on the federal do not call list. And then again, we have these export limits. You can export 10,000 properties on the base, beginner plan, the starter plan per month. And if you're wanting the phone numbers, we didn't want you guys to use up your export limit with properties that didn't have a phone number. So we gave you even this toggle so that you can exclude properties without phone numbers in your export. Again, to stay more efficient with the data that you guys are pulling. We also gave you guys property flags. So it's every type of quick list that we have, like pre-foreclosure, HOA liens, vacant house, owner occupied, absentee owner. All those are going to be flags that would export. And if you're using external dialer, those would show up so that you guys could actually see those as well. And then we gave you 134 leads on the property style export you could pick from and choose to export and bring into your external dialer, as well as the notes that you're leaving in DealMachine would be available if you're calling with an external dialer. And so we also gave you guys the ability to remember your last export settings. So you don't have to toggle these switches every single time. It remembers what you just did before. A huge milestone that we all hit together was, and appreciate seeing you guys. Hello, Mildred. Good evening. What's up, AJ? Got the closer on here. Got 250 on here right now. So thank you guys for joining us. We had 1 billion properties added, which was a big milestone because 7 years ago, we started by having, just people see a rundown house. They take a picture of it with DealMachine. They send the owner a postcard saying, would you like an offer on your house? That was a one by one. And then the last couple of years, we became more data focused. So we provide 700 filters on people and properties so you can find your target customer, the ideal person with motivation who wants to sell. And when you guys generate a list in DealMachine with those filters, that's what gets added to this 1 billion count. We surpassed 1 billion properties that people have added to their DealMachine account. So that's all of you using the platform, and very exciting to be a part of your success. We really appreciate it. There was one more thing. We've had over 10,000 deals closed from you guys of properties that were marketed to with DealMachine data or with the DealMachine dialer or with DealMachine postcards. So I'm very happy to say that and super excited to be on this journey with you guys. There's a few more upgrades. I'll go through them quickly so we can get right to what you came for. We have a larger area that you can draw on the map. We always had the drawing feature, so you could draw a neighborhood, but this is zoomed out and covering a whole city of South Bend. So you can also search by zip code or county, or you can draw a shape. We also let you draw a circle. A lot of people really love the circle. It's a common agent technique, actually, when you sell a house, to send marketing to a radius around the house, telling them about the house that you just sold in order to get more listings. We provided a heat map. I just had a user from, I believe he's from Milwaukee. He was looking to invest in another city, and he wanted to know where the flipping activity was. And so you can click owner is a house flipper, and you can see the heat map of where the flipping activity is going on with the new heat maps that we introduced this past year to help you guys do research, especially if you're out of state. One of the most difficult things of real estate is comping. To me, it's the most questions that we get. It is a little bit of an art, a little bit of a science. BJ, you'll have to tell us how you conquered it, but we created this tool and we added the days on market so that you guys would have more information on how you evaluate properties. Because if it's been on market for 400 days, I would probably remove it from my comps. It means that price was probably listed too high. And if it was on market for 10 days, that price might be like a little low and you could probably sell it for a little bit more. So that's part of judging what these prices mean that they sold for and what your similar property should be listed for. We also, for our land investors, and land investing has gotten more popular because there's less people moving the last 3 years as interest rates on loans increased, and also there's less emotion involved when you're coming to sell land. So for those two reasons, I think that's why people from out of the country have started to flip land as well, is because people that usually own land, it's been vacant for 30 years. They don't have any memories there. It's just kind of sat and appreciated and they're ready to unload it. So if you're doing comps for land, you need to know the lot size. So we added the ability to specify the lot size for the people doing land. But if you're doing single families, do not fill this in. I would just focus on the square footage of the house, just FYI. We got honored by processing 10 billion AI tokens. For you guys, that means the tools you're using are fully utilizing AI to have the most efficient and effective business possible. So tokens is another word. I thought for a second, when I first heard this, I was like, tokens, what is that, cryptocurrency? That's not actually what it means. The tokens is just how AI processes words, like the language models. So for you guys, what that means is we gave you guys the ability to look at the Google Street images. So instead of paying somebody $20 an hour to drive around and look for rundown properties and dealing with the personnel problems that come with that, or not showing up, or eating churros while you're on the clock, etc., you can just have AI look at the Google images and find overhanging trees, missing gutters, mold, dead grass, plywood on the windows, and you guys, it's like cheaper than $20 an hour and a tank of gas. It's like 2 cents per property that it analyzes here. We gave that to you guys, and that's part of the 10 billion tokens that was utilized this year, was you guys using that feature, as well as the deal analyzer. So this is Alma. You can say, hey, on this property, what do you think a wholesale deal offer would look like? And it's just like ChatGPT, except for it knows all of the DealMachine data. So it knows all the property data. It knows what the comps are in the area. It knows what condition this property is in. And it knows actually what the estimated repair cost was, which actually was BJ was the first one to bring this up. He said it was critical that he was using the estimated repair cost field in DealMachine. So I'm going to ask him more about that in a second. Many of you guys have used the dialer, and it transcribes what you're saying. It's also a coach in your ear if you need help on what to say next, because we know we kind of have a little bit of butterflies if we're doing this for the first time, and it can help you know what to say when you press that button. What do I say? It knows exactly what you've talked about so far, and it also it saves you time by moving the status of the lead into the next position. So if it was a great conversation, they want a meeting next, it's going to be marked as a hot lead. If they're interested in selling in like 30 days, it's going to mark it as a warm lead. So you can go back after you call or your virtual assistant calls and easily see which deals you can review that are the highest potential, look at the transcript, etc. So now that does bring me to BJ. He's actually started investing when he was 17. He's 20 years old now. He's done 100 properties wholesale. He was doing 8 to 16 per month. We did our first podcast a couple of months ago. And then you also raised 7 figures in capital. So BJ, can you expand a little bit? Like, why did you start? For those that didn't see the podcast, why did you get started in real estate at 17? That's pretty wild. You found your first deal in 30 days. What did you do to have that type of success fairly quickly? First, wow. Okay, so they were listed on Zillow as a for sale by owner. And did you call yourself, or did you go hire a VA to call because you didn't feel like calling at first? That's amazing. I think that's so critical to being able to manage somebody else, is knowing that you can do it and you know exactly what it looks like. You know how many calls you can do an hour. You know how many people answer at different times of the day. So if you're managing somebody and they tell you that there's nobody answering, you know that's something wrong, right? You know they're even pulling over on you, or there's a technical issue or something like that. So amazing that you did it yourself first. I would say from 7 years of helping a lot of people, that was critical to get in there yourself and get it done first before you manage somebody. And now you manage 30 people, right? 30 callers. I think. Got it. So what does the success feel like to you? Because you are so successful at age 20, it makes people like me who are 36 feel like we're not doing enough. I just want to know, how does it feel to you? Yeah. Well, let me show a video that you posted on social media so people could see a little bit behind the scenes of what you're talking about. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to make myself expanded. So hopefully you can still see BJ and I and the screen while I play this video. Let me know if not.
They really did their thing in this one. And from what I understand, she even left her dog in here at one time. Oh, snap. 25, probably. Okay. 50, I don't think. I think 50. No, yeah, no. Okay. No. Yeah, yeah. No, but so if we can do like 2025, that'd be a nice.
That must be the repair cost estimate.
So you're trying to move on this one quick, right? Yeah. The reason why I say that is because it's like a perfect situation for us. He's the guy that's going to be doing the GC work for this house. He said that they're doing a house around the corner. They're almost done. So if we could jump their guys, he's like, if we could jump them here, that'd literally be perfect. So that's why I was wondering what the timeline would be looking like for you guys. We can get out of this now. Okay. Right. I'll tell you what, let me and her talk about it. Can I get with you on Monday? Yeah, get with me on Monday. If we can disagree on a price, I think we will. We're literally like in the same ball. And then we'll just get something situated. We'll get it to a title company, and then we'll try and close it next week as well. So you guys can. That'll be good. Yeah. Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, thank you. All right.
Great video. Was that who did you have there with you? That was the homeowner, right? Wow, 20,000 in profit. How did you decide that 25 was the right price? I heard did he say 50 or you said 50? He said 50. He wanted $50,000. So that's a tricky situation. A lot of people might just walk away or say, "Oh, I don't think that'll work." Got it. And then did the repair estimates come into play in selecting this property to even market to in the first place? The repair estimates in DealMachine? So the heavier the rehab, the better opportunity there is to make money and have a margin and add value to it, right? So you get the profit from adding value typically, and that's really, really astute observation. So what would be a heavy rehab for you? And was this in Ohio? Love it. Well, I believe that would be a perfect opportunity for us to roll into more details of your process. That's right. So, can you tell us from the beginning how you're doing it now? For where there's two versions of this, right? So, this first process is for beginners. Yeah. I'm going to switch gears here, but what we're going to do next is me and BJ are going to set an appointment for you, and we're going to do it live. So if you guys want to put your market in the chat, we're going to do that. While you're doing that, I'm going to answer a few questions. So we have 3 questions that my team has sent me to answer. The first one is, how fast do pre-foreclosures settle out? The answer is it depends on your state. Here in Texas, if you miss your mortgage payment, then it will be sent to auction on the next 30-day auction date. But not all states are quite that fast. You'd have to look it up per state. Question 2 was, do I need to register in Texas for the cold calling permit? The Texas defines cold calling just the same way as the TCPA does, which is the federal rule. And that is, it only applies for telemarketing, which is defined as selling something. So if you're selling water softeners, if you're selling solar, if you're selling roofing, you would need to register and then only call the DNC numbers. But if you're calling your neighbor to ask if they'd like an offer in their house, you're actually doing the opposite as to what is described as telemarketing. So therefore, there would be no need to register. And question 3 is, what do you do with the DNC numbers? Again, as real estate investors generally operate that we're not selling anything. The nuance is, if you're an agent and you're listing something, that is a service that you're providing. So you wouldn't be able to call DNC numbers and ask if they want to list their house with you. So hopefully that helps clarify. I've actually got, and I'm not a lawyer, I talk with mine all the time, weekly on this as the laws have changed. I publish YouTube videos and blogs on the DealMachine YouTube channel and on our DealMachine blog. So there's many here for you to reference, and or just Google and find on our resources for you. And as that applies to real estate investors specifically, would be a great place for you to go there. Now, in the chat, I don't know if I could pick a market, but BJ, why don't you pick a market that you would like, and we'll call 10 people. And when we call 10 people, the data is so good, the contact rate's so good, we're going to have a conversation. So the lead we will pass on to the person, the lucky person that you pick. Perfect. Who? Yeah. Who? Okay. So, well, if you guys haven't used DealMachine before, the first thing you do is you type in Dallas, and then the location is going to come up. There's a few different Dallases in different states, apparently, that I haven't heard of, but I'm looking for the one in Texas. Hold on. Dallas, Texas. I'll usually select the county rather than the city, because the county is usually like a bigger area than just the city proper. So that's why I've selected the county there. And 700,000 properties. So the next thing I'm going to do is use this filter that I've saved for great real estate investor leads. And it'll show you a few examples here. The building condition. So I don't know if Dallas has this or not, but a lot of counties, the assessor actually records if the building condition is in poor, fair, unsound condition. And so it looks like Dallas does, because it's 5,900 properties that have come up with this. We're doing equity greater than 50%. Owner location is owner occupied, because when you're going for a niche list, everybody's going after the absentee owned. And I have done most of my deals with fair, poor, and unsound owner occupied homes. There's less people communicating with those homeowners, and they're great deals. And so we're going to do the last sale date is more than 15 years ago as well. So they've lived there for quite a while. And then I'm going to add one more thing that I forgot on my filter, which was the property type is single family. I don't want any commercial buildings or anything like that that might creep into this. So let's go to property type. We will do single family. There we go. All right. So it's recalculated there. I guess a couple properties fell off the list, so I'm going to build it. And one of the unique things about DealMachine is how fast it can build a list or skip trace a list, which means get the phone numbers. It would take 45 minutes to do skip trace of 7,000 properties in any other platform, but DealMachine builds this whole list in 30 seconds. Now you can see it's about done. You can even see it while it's in progress. And so the phone numbers are there right there with the list. So there's no separate process or button you have to push for, skip tracing it, as it's called. So let's take a look at some of these properties that came up here. So first one, individually, I can click into it. I could see that it's owner occupied, and Thwan is the likely owner, and he lives there, and he's 73 years old. And there's his phone number, and he even has his household income, his net asset value. This guy's doing pretty well. I'll tell you, one of the best deals I ever did was from somebody who was wealthy. And it was kind of mind blowing, because you're like, man, why are you taking a loss on this property? But he's making too much money as an orthodontist in Utah. And he just wanted to unload this property in Indianapolis. He bought because he thought he wanted to get into real estate, but then his contractor kind of left and he was so busy, many states away, et cetera. So I'm telling you, there's all kinds of reasons people will prefer speed and convenience over the top price for their house, especially if they don't have to do any of the work. So I'm going to jump into, I just wanted to show you that. And then I'm going to jump into calling. I'm going to make 10 calls. Okay. And BJ will tell me how I did or point out things I could do better would be great. And I will end the current calling session up here that I had going and start this new one in Texas. Really? That's awesome. Yeah, this guy had 5 properties, and I actually was like, man, I'll introduce you to my contractor so he can help you out on the next few. And that was a great deal, right? Because I got a great deal, and then he got to finish his. So you can kind of move this around.
Forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
All right. So instead of leaving a voicemail myself, I pressed AI clone voicemail. So I've taught this what I sound like, and the AI will actually leave a message with this guy's property. Let's see if you think it sounds like me.
Hello, my name is David. I know this call is completely out of the blue. I was calling about your property at 1702 Millwick Street. Wanted to see if you would consider an offer on your property. I completely understand if you have no interest right now, but if you can give me a call back either way so I don't keep bugging you, my number is 46976952120. Talk to you soon. And hey, if you no longer want to receive calls from me, just text or call me to stop and I will remove you from my list.
What do you think, BJ? So yeah, it's actually meets like the 5 criteria for a great voicemail, which is you've got to leave a callback number. You are personalizing it to the person's property, and you're leaving an opt-out mechanism. It also increases the average call duration, which prevents your outgoing number from showing as spam on people's phone. And then it also gives you an opportunity to get an actual lead if they decide to call back. So let's go on to the next one. It's Tiffany on a different property. How do you say that? Meridian.
Hello, you have reached Tiffany. Please leave a number and a message, and I will get back in touch with you as soon as possible. Don't worry, be happy. Hello?
Tiffany, is that you? I didn't know if it was your recording. Oh, hey, Tiffany. Hey, I was just calling about your property on Meridian Way. I was just curious if you'd like to receive an offer. Oh, okay. Yeah, is there anybody before you go? Oh, Tiffany. All right. So she said, take me off your list. So what we can do is we could put unqualified, and we will not be calling her in the future in that category. So we can go on to the next one. But yeah, the contact rate's actually 25%. So if I always do 10 calls, I know I'm going to have a conversation. That was a conversation. And it was the right person, right? She didn't say that's not my property. So that's another half the battle, is just having accurate data, ability to get through to the right person. Dave's got a question. says, does the dialer use a local area code matching the person? Yes. So you could see Mary, her number starts with a 972. And so the outgoing number that I was just calling from was a 972 number. And if I were to have left a voicemail, you would have seen that as well mentioned in there. So let's go on to property. Let's see. Is this property number 3? Yeah, it's the second owner or second number for property number 3. What's up, Ryan? Making some calls. DealMachine dialer. Shout out my buddy Ryan O'Connell here, just joined on Instagram. Let's see. Question number 4 from the audience said there's some gurus out there saying to lean heavily on direct mail, postcards, and letters, cold calling, and direct mail, or both. BJ, what would you say your experience has been? Have you been? Mm-hmm. Great. Correct, but that's once you're at the point of having 50 deals under your belt. I would, you focus on one, right, when you were just starting out. And what I've noticed from being in the industry for 7 years is that these marketing strategies go in cycles. And if you notice, there is a tendency for people, they have a lot of success with PPC, and they'll come to their mastermind and they'll say PPC is so great. And then a few more people will go implement PPC, and then they'll go to their other masterminds that they're in, and they'll make a presentation saying PPC is so great. And then pretty soon everybody's doing PPC. So by the time you've heard it 8 times, it's pretty saturated. And so the opportunity is like less, right? But then because more people moved into PPC, now that opens up direct mail. And so now then somebody new comes to their mastermind and says, man, direct mail is like really killing it. And then we hear it, and then people, do more direct mail. We offer direct mail. You could send this in DealMachine. This is actually the ballpoint letter, one of the pieces that is actually handwritten. I don't know if you can see this, but it's actually handwritten with a ballpoint pen. And so that's available to send in DealMachine as well, if you guys didn't know that. And so we've got that option as well. But I think the best advice for many of you on the call who are newer is to have more conversations on a lower budget and invest more of your time to do that, which would be cold calling yourself. And once you've got that down, you could scale that. And once that's doing a few deals a month, you could add another marketing strategy. Or maybe you're just shy and you've got pockets full of money. You could send direct mail, and you could just spend money instead of time. And that's totally okay and doable. So I don't think there's a wrong answer other than pick one and really focus on committing to it. Understand how much it takes, how many mail pieces it takes, an established home buying business in your market to get a deal. And I'll say the deal cost is probably $5,000, no matter what the marketing strategy is. Right, BJ? I mean, you didn't spend $5,000 to get your first one, but from a scaled business, I believe people that do it at a high scale, it's like a few $1,000s, right? Which would mean like thousands of. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, the dialer here will actually restrict you from calling past the legal hours, which I forget exactly what it is, but it's something like 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. their local time. It's programmed into DealMachine. So if you're using the DealMachine dialer it's not going to let your call go through to somebody on the East Coast once the clock strikes, 9 o'clock over there, based on their area code where they're at. So that's how it works. I don't know, BJ, do you know the exact time? I slipped my mind, something like that. Good to know. I'm going to make to at least 10 calls. We had one conversation, and I want to get a couple, even more. At least like to do 10.
First class individual, please leave a message at the phone. If you have a system failure and need emergency service, send a text to 469-628-4235. Thank you and have a great day.
That sounds like a work number. Let's go to Diane next. I wonder, man, in Dallas County, I wonder if this house looks a little too nice. I'm going to make sure maybe filter a lower price point or higher repair cost number. We had somebody in here from St. Louis. I'm going to go switch over to St. Louis for a minute. BJ, what filter do you use? That's the next question. Yeah. Repair estimate. Do you do per square feet or do you do total? Okay. Let's see if anything comes back on this filter I put here. 54 leads. Perfect. Let's see what these look like. Question 6. Do you use a Google number to dial from? No, the DealMachine dialer actually, you're calling from numbers there. So that way the full conversation is the notes are taken, it's transcribed, etc. Question 7 is, if you select wrong number, will the dialer remove that number when you are attempting to call that same list at another time? Yes, correct. Question 8, that was, after the call ended, and it had a couple of options there. If they say wrong number, the AI should mark it as wrong number automatically. Question 8, how does the dialer handle callbacks from the missed calls and voicemails? Well, you can go to the dialer dashboard here, and you could see out of 107 properties called, 24 answered and were the right person. So that's a combo of great data, numbers not showing as spam, and the incoming activity is where you would see people who call back, and you can actually click on, Summer Wilson, for example. She called me back September 19th, and we had a conversation because I picked it up. So it actually will forward to my cell phone as well. I'll actually answer it, and it will put the conversation notes in DealMachine for you. Question 9 is, considering the current time in Dallas, what is the latest appropriate time to call leads? And again, I believe nationwide it's 9 o'clock in the current time zone. The dialer will not let you make an outbound call if the person you're calling is in a time zone where it's over 9 o'clock based on their area code. And then, are you likely to add SMS addition to the dialer? And we wouldn't do SMS blasting because a lot of those platforms have struggled over the years with deliverability. You know how the thing is we cracked, which like, oh, it doesn't show as spam, and we guarantee that. Well, the text messaging is a bit harder to manage that. There are customers who do export and use their own SMS platforms. And Danny Biravides, I think, has his own. I don't know if he's on here now, but Danny, put yours in there. He's kind of got his own private, in-house thing that he can help you with. And so for that reason, we wouldn't build it in DealMachine. We believe that the focus on premium data is going to give you guys the biggest unlock. And if we try to build other things that may not have as big of an impact for you, then we're just kind of just doing you a disservice. So we're really focused this year on the data, premium data, more data points, more accuracy, even than what may be available now. But that's really where we're all 100% focused. And if you guys want to do texting, you can do an external system for that. So let's do a few more calls in St. Louis, and then it's time that we unveil the package. But I just want to do at least 3 calls here in St. Louis. That would make me really happy because I think that I said I was going to get to 10, and I got to get to 10. That's just how I roll. So let me load these up, and let me end this session. And I see a shout out from Jonathan Swanson. He says, I think DealMachine creates such an edge for building lists, and the direct mail response rate is better than average. Thank you, Jonathan, for saying that. Glad you're having success. Jonathan does direct mail, so feel free to network with Jonathan in the chat if you guys have questions about that. Let's see here. I'm going to add another filter because I've started calling on this list before. So I will do last called date is unknown. That way it's going to bring me properties that I've never called before. And I also do want to make sure that we're doing single family homes, not any type of apartments or anything like that. And then let's see. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let's call a few people from St. Louis, see if we can pass off a lead to one of our good friends on the webinar who's in the St. Louis market. Gary says the dialer's the cat's pajamas, and I love the note taking. Saves a bunch of time and eliminates forgetting any details of what was discussed. 10 out of 10. Thanks. Thank you, Jerry. Actually, I think I said Gary. It's Jerry. Dave Murfin. Dave Murfin is saying the DealMachine dialer is legit, connects way better than other dialers I've used in the past. Super happy to hear that, Dave. And great name, by the way. Also, let's see. Does DealMachine pull up-to-date pre-foreclosures from counties? Again, the timing of how counties publish that info does vary county by county, but the answer is yes. We've got the quick filter pre-foreclosure status that you can look at properties in that status. Austin says DealMachine is the GOAT for data. Thanks, Austin. Must be one of those guys using one of the niche things, or maybe the phone numbers. Those are 2 big things that we have worked on really hard for you this year. So appreciate the shout out. All right, this is Diana. Ruben wants to know how many calls you suggest making, BJ, in a week.
To an automated message system. 3143833 available. At the tone, please record your message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, so I can do like 160 calls in an hour and a half. And so you said you called 4 to 5 hours per day. I think the most important thing is that you really set aside an amount of time and then you commit to doing it every day, and you make it a habit in like reasonable chunks, right? Because calling can take a lot of your energy. And if somebody answers and you're super low energy, that may not even go well. Yeah, but yeah, depends on if you get into a long conversation, then obviously you can't do 100 an hour, but a lot of them are short, right? They're like, oh no, not interested. Going right to the next one. Janet Lamb. Are you home? Somebody's asking about the email data. We actually tell you how accurate we think it is for the green.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and we'll try to connect you.
Janet, it's David.
I am unable to answer my phone at the present time. I will return your call as soon as possible. Please leave a brief message with your name, your number, and the best time to return the call.
Janet, this is David. I was calling about your property on Hamilton Avenue. Was just curious if you'd be interested in receiving an offer on it. Totally okay if not. And just call me back or text me back if you'd like to be removed from the list. And I'll quit bugging you. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening and hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye. Well, we're going to have to move on, but I will come back to call in just a moment. I did want to share with you guys the deal that you came up with and give you guys who have stuck with us for an hour the winner, and then we'll get back to cold calling. The point is, you guys saw, we talked to the lady in Texas. It's half the battle to actually get you in touch with the right person. So we're monitoring our numbers as spam. If they ever show, we switch them out automatically for you. We guarantee it doesn't show as spam. The data is so accurate. It's 25% contact rate, meaning the right person picks up, and it's the right person. This is Danny Beervides I was talking to earlier. He was thinking about the old DealMachine data earlier this year, and I was like, no, you got to do a test. And he uploaded 29,000 properties. He used only the DealMachine data, and in 11 days, he sent 34,000 texts, 60 leads, 400 contract, and the results for LLC owners have been the best I've seen. And used, let's say he's going to follow up with another post in 2 weeks. And then Patrick Lee Brown, he makes calls for real estate investors. You can't go wrong with a platform that ensures property info is updated daily and contact info is updated monthly, which is how we do it. We're giving you guys a 50% off sale. I know you guys came because you wanted to see this. 50% off sale, and it's going to be 2 options, okay? Both plans, both options, no matter which one you pick, will include the following. Unlimited contact info, so that's when I was on the screen and you guys could see, who the person was, what their phone number was, what their email was, even what their net worth, their household income was, what industry they work in, et cetera. You get unlimited individual lookups of that for you and your team. You get the AI powered dialer, which you guys got to see, AI voicemail, which saves you time and improves the through rate, improves how many people you can connect with because it doesn't show as spam when you're leaving those voicemails. We've got the AI real estate assistant to help you analyze properties, the AI driving for dollars, which identifies properties so that you don't have to go out there and manage somebody and pay them to do it. You get MLS data. So even in non-disclosure states like Texas, the title company knows the transaction. They record the transaction and they little randomly modify the data 10%. And that's how we get our estimates, BJ. I don't know if you knew that, but that's how it works in non-disclosure states. The LLC owner match is how the LLCs, we could show you who actually owns and is the corporate officer of that. We've got the list builder, which is how we originally started our list in Dallas that you saw tonight, driving for dollars. If you are out there yourselves looking for the properties rundown, a great strategy, especially if you're tight on cash. You can get to know your areas and generate a unique small list of motivated sellers that actually nobody else has that exact list. You get virtual driving, which lets you dive into the Google Earth and you can look for rundown properties that way. And generally we're seeing in most cities, they're updated once a year in terms of the images. You got Street Pick, which puts the picture of the property on the postcard. You've got route planning, which if you get a code violations list from people who haven't cut their grass, you can actually plug it into DealMachine and it will route you to go knock on all their doors. You have the map highlights, which is the same thing as the heat maps that I showed you earlier so that you can do research. Or if you're zoomed in while you're driving, you can see which properties are owner occupied or absentee owned while you're just driving down the street. You got route tracking while you're driving. It's going to be like a Map My Run app where it tracks where you've been so you don't drive the same place twice and waste time. You've got MLS and county comps, and we have access to both of those data feeds for you to figure out what properties would be relevant for calculating your after repair value, making that a lot easier. You have list stacking, which it basically on the leads view over here, it will tell you once you've pulled several lists in DealMachine, it'll tell you how many lists one particular lead was on. So it's right here in this column once it loads. So I could filter it by properties that are actually on multiple lists there. So I'll let that load and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But you get mail sequences. So I just showed you the ballpoint letter piece right here. And you could say, send them a ballpoint piece first. And then 3 weeks later, send them a regular postcard. And you could switch it up like that. You get the custom mail designer. So if you have a logo or if you have your own mail design already, you can just upload that and you have like a Canva type editor to even make your own and tweak your own design. You've got custom fields. So one thing, if you got that code violation list from your county and they've got, people that haven't cut their grass, and they've also got people who, did work with a contractor without a permit, the custom field would allow you to upload what exactly was their code violation in DealMachine. You have API access through Zapier. So when you add properties, you can send that to any other softwares that you might be using. You get tutorials and the DealMachine Masterclass. And here is an example list, a lead that's on 5 lists. You can see is list stacked. And then we can look at the list that it's on. It's on 5 lists, guys. So it's on the probate properties in Indianapolis, another one in Indianapolis that I pulled, and bad single family homes in Indianapolis. So 3 or 5 separate lists that I pulled. It's on all of them. So that would mean that maybe they're more motivated than somebody else. So to take advantage of all of this that you would get access to get the deal, go to DealMachine.com/Black Friday, all one word, on your device that you are signed into DealMachine with, which would probably be your computer rather than your phone, because most of you guys use the app on the phone, but this is the website. So go to your computer, go to DealMachine.com/Black Friday, and you can get DealMachine Pro for 12 months for 50% off. It's 30,000 monthly exports or manage 60,000 leaves in DealMachine with live updates. You get mail pricing, 67 cents, ballpoint letters, 175. This is written with a ballpoint pen, guys. And then we've got 5 cents per minute on the dialer. Every account has the dialer, but they just stopped making the penny, BJ. So 5 cents is literally nothing. And that's how much you pay to make those calls. You call tracking numbers. So when you send any type of mail piece through DealMachine, it's going to have this phone number on here. And a lot of you guys pay like $50 to have like a call tracking number from, I don't know who sells those anymore, call rail, something like that. And it basically just tracks, the response rate from your different marketing campaigns, which is super useful. But you get 3 of those built in with DealMachine whenever you get any of these packages. And I was jumping over to the dashboard to show you guys what that looks like from mail that I've sent, and let it load. Oh yeah. So 10,000 sent, 46 responses, 0.5% response rate for direct mail. not bad, but you get to track it so you don't guess which campaign did better, and you can keep tweaking your mail like we do at DealMachine. That's a value of $17.90, and the Black Friday special is only $8.95. And if you guys buy on this webinar, you even get some extra stuff, which I'll tell you about. But there's also a Pro Plus option that you might consider. And you're going to get 60,000 exports, so twice as many exports, or manage 120,000 leads with live data updates. The mail pricing is as low as 62 cents per piece. And this stuff is first class tracked. When it gets delivered, you get notified in the app. And if it gets returned to sender, one of the biggest opportunities is actually skip tracing the return to senders, because no one else is able to get a hold of them because their tax address is wrong. So literally nobody can get a hold of them, and getting in contact with them with good contact info, which is already in the DealMachine app. But DealMachine, when you send mail and it gets returned to sender, the barcode gets scanned. So the status in DealMachine automatically gets flipped to the status that you can then search through of mail that was returned to sender. And so it would be one of these filters here. And so you'd easily be able to filter that and then skip trace and call those really, really valuable leads that everyone else is neglecting. Ballpoint letters are $1.47. The dollar price is now only 4 pennies per minute. They don't even make pennies anymore. There's 6 call tracking numbers, and you can have 15 team members on this plan. It's a pretty damn good deal. It's normally $2,790 for the year, but you guys get it for 50% off today. It's $13.95. So here's the two options again as a comparison. The biggest one for those of you who are here for the data is that the Pro allows 30,000 monthly exports per month. The Pro Plus allows 60,000 monthly exports per month. Guys, this time last year, like 13, 14 months ago, people were paying 10 cents per property to get the phone number. And at the prices we're offering today, the 60,000 monthly exports is like less than what, it's like less than half a cent. Okay. It's just an unbelievable value. And you saw how accurate it was, but literally nobody said that we had the wrong number. This is going to be something special I want to do for you guys, is if you guys buy this during this webinar, which we're going to say on here for a few more minutes, you're going to get a DealMachine hat, the 50% off price, and 400 minutes with 33 postcards included with the purchase price. And you guys get a group onboarding package. And again, here are the two options. And the link is in your in the webinar on the top right corner, DealMachine.com/Black Friday. So the Pro is going to be 30,000 monthly exports. The Pro Plus is 60,000 monthly exports. And then there's also 60,000 leads you can have at one time in your app on the Pro. The Pro Plus, 120,000 leads. If you're sending direct mail, it's actually paying for itself to get the bigger package, because it's like 5 cents cheaper per mail piece on those postcards. And yeah, that's, I mean, such an amazing deal. Let me go over again. Both plans, they got the unlimited contact info, AI powered dialer, AI voicemail drops, real estate AI assistant, AI driving for dollars to identify those properties so you don't have to pay somebody to come do that or spend your time doing that. MLS data, LLC owner match, list builder driving for dollars, virtual driving, street pick, route planning, map highlights for research to figure out, hey, where's that flipping activity going? Or, hey, where are all the properties that are being bought with cash? Where are those at? Who's buying them? MLS property and county comp. So the MLS is going to give you like the perfect condition homes. The county comps, that tells you what people are offering, like kind of off market, right? Because they weren't on the MLS. So you can figure out what you should offer using both of those. List stacking, mail sequences, custom mail designer, custom fields for uploading. Hey, what kind of code violation did they have? API access to send any leads from DealMachine off to any other apps you're using through Zapier. We also have our own API that's available if you're a developer, and then tutorials and DealMachine Masterclass. So one random thing I was going to say, if you absolutely need more than 60,000 exports per month, call Matt. He's our guy that's going to help you out with this big plan we don't even have on our website, but DealMachine.com/Matt for anybody who's doing super, high volume. The sale ends December 3rd, but if you buy on this webinar tonight, you do get those extras. So you've got a reason to take advantage of the sale. And now I want to give you guys a contest drawing if you guys are ready for it. Let me know if you're ready for the contest drawing in the chat. BJ, are you ready for it? Oh, man, that would be something. All right, let's see if we get I need to pull up the wheel of names. Oh, let's try to reload Slack so I can get that over, or else I'll text it to myself. Black Friday demos. Here it comes. This is what I get to see, guys. Your questions kind of brought to me. You get to see a little behind the scenes there. So this is everybody who's on the webinar right now. I'm literally going to click it right now and see who's going to win. DealMachine Pro. It's worth $17.90. You're going to get it absolutely free right now. As soon as I click this wheel, that's going to be the winner. And I believe this year, last year we spun 10 times because we didn't know how to remove people that weren't on live, but there's 249 of you on live here. And it's just picking from those people who are on. And we've got Borsia Baru. Let's see if you're on live. Let's see if it worked. Let's see if my team figured out how to only include people who were on live. Elise, are you seeing anybody named Borsia? You see her? I see her. I see her. I see her. She goes, I think that's a lady. I'm in. That's me. Oh, Barisa. I'm sorry. I'm saying it wrong. Barisa. Barisa Baru. Congratulations. Big winner. $17.90 worth of value for the whole year. So I'm so happy you won, Barisa. Thank you so much. And I also am getting a message from my team. Says, can we mention that they get the deal even if they already bought the annual plan previously? So yes, hopefully that is clarifying. Hopefully I said that correctly. You can still get this deal even if you bought an annual plan in July. You basically would re-up today, and it should automatically prorate the difference from starting your discount like now from the next 12 months. So you guys can still get the deal. So just want to let you guys know, you go to DealMachine.com/Black Friday. And if you do it before we get off the webinar tonight, then you will get the extras that we mentioned, the group onboarding, the 400 minutes of dialing or 33 postcards, and also a DealMachine hat. So that is concluding the prize winner for tonight. Elise, is there going to be a prize winner tomorrow night? Because we actually do have more to show you tomorrow night. Awesome. So we're going to do another contest winner. And then during the interactive portion, BJ and I are going to take any of you guys who have like a lead that went dead. Or, you know, I was just talking with somebody and they said they had 45 leads in their CRM, but none of them closed, right? And this person hadn't done a deal before. But like if you guys have a situation like that where you have leads and you've got multiple leads, but you just haven't closed one, I want you guys to bring that tomorrow, because BJ and I, mostly BJ, we're going to work that lead live and revive it. Hopefully that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So it should be pretty exciting. There'll be more calls, and that will be really exciting for somebody to basically get that handoff from BJ. Jeremy Jackson says pro plan purchase. Congratulations, Jeremy. And thanks for taking advantage of the deal. I'm glad you thought it was really valuable. We have Q&A now. So I've got more questions lined up. And BJ, I'm going to try to direct some more of you. I've been hogging the questions. I'm sorry. So I'll read it, though. It says, well, maybe you don't know this one. Have you used the email data? I started to answer it. Did you ever use any email data from DealMachine? Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to need a cold emailing platform. That is an entire different software. And we're a great way to filter email data by property owners. There's not another place that I'm aware of that allows you to do that. You're going to take all the emails that you export from DealMachine. First of all, you're going to only export the contact property owner. If this is my single biggest tip for you guys using DealMachine, this would be it. It'll increase your contact rate tremendously. And this is how you do it. I'll just show you on the dialer settings. It's the same for the export. Only likely property owners. Don't go digging for the potential owners or the family members or the renters unless you're like advanced diving deep on a certain property where you're trying to buy fractional ownership and find all the errors and track them down, right? Only do the likely property owners, because that's the decision maker for 99% of us. So only do that. That's an export setting as well. So anyway, I use Instantly or smartlead.ai for my cold emailing that I would do. You're going to run the emails you export from DealMachine through a verifier called Kickbox. This is normal. And then Kickbox is going to tell you how deliverable it is. And you're going to take like the top 40%. So then you're going to only send cold emails to the top 40 that are like the most accurate. And we even tell you that when you're looking at a lead or when you export it, if you pay a close attention to the email, there's actually a green dot by the ones that we think are the most deliverable, right? So you could even just filter out, these without a green dot in your export. But Kickbox Verifier, run it through Verifier, and then use a cold email platform, which sets up an infrastructure of like multiple emails. And that way your personal email never gets marked as spam, gets stuck in the spam box. Okay, that's the cold email one. It's great. 13, are you using free skip tracing data, or have you upgraded your skip tracing data? No, I think you just saw it. This is not only really, BJ, you should just answer it. I don't know. What do you think? That was a big tough one last year when we came out with the unlimited skip tracing. I think we priced it so low, people thought, oh, there's no way this could be so good. I think he's asking DealMachine if our data is bad or good. I think it's literally just what he's asking. That's awesome. Congratulations on that deal. It's so cool. I never saw a mobile notary until I got into real estate investing. I didn't even know what that was. But basically, when there's a loan, you got to have somebody see that you're the right person signing the documents, right? No, dude. Congratulations. I've got another question. Does DealMachine check the dialer phone numbers for spam? We do. And if they show as spam, they're immediately rotated out. But BJ uses a different dialer. And the reason why, again, he has 30 callers. So if you have 30 callers, how do you check for spam, BJ? Imagine having 30 callers and paying for that amount of labor and using bad data. It would be catastrophic, correct? So it's really an honor that we're able to serve you, BJ, but just wanted to kind of share that. I mean, you'd be wasting a lot of money if it was not getting you in touch with the right person. Somebody wants to know, how do you track 30 people calling? So question 15 is, how long do you suggest waiting before you follow up with another call to that particular homeowner? Give us both, actually. Yeah, give us both. I got Just Call Jeff here on Instagram that joined us, and he wasn't here in the beginning. But Lil Blue says, "Hey, just bought your app." That's awesome, Lil Blue. Thank you for saying that. And let's see, how do I join? Well, man, how does he join? DealMachine.com/black-Friday demos. My link is in the bio. But Just Call Jeff. He wanted to know again, how do you build your list and who do you call? So I guess you're using, you're in Ohio, you're in a few other markets too. You're looking for properties that have a big rehab, right? So that way you can add value. You actually use the estimated rehab needed over 30,000, which is a lot considering the ARV of these properties of what, 150, maybe 150 to 200. That does make a lot of sense. Bigger rehab, bigger opportunity to provide value and negotiate. Let's see where I left off here. Okay. Question 16. After you left a message and the lead calls back, when you call back, will it be the same number that they called inbound to me? Okay, after you left a message and the lead calls you back, yeah, if you pick it up, they'll just call the lead that you left the message with, correct? That'll connect you. And then if you recall out, yes, it will also be the same number. So yeah, we're good there. Question 17, could you go over what makes a good voicemail again? I gave my things, which was, I'm curious what you think, BJ, what you tell your team, or if you even leave voicemails, but specifically talk to their mention their property and their name, and then you leave a callback number and an opt-out mechanism, and those are basically, and you say who you are. So that's it. What about you, BJ? Dave Murfin says the Black Friday deal is the best value for data in the game. It's a no-brainer if you do this for a living or even a side hustle. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you saying that. We work really hard on the data. So again, Jonathan says the contact info is so good, sometimes I don't even have to mail. They answer and he calls or texts back. So amazing, Jonathan. Thank you for saying that. Question 18, what is your hit rate accuracy on residential and for LLC? So with the multi-line dialer, it's going to be different than a single line dialer. So ours is single line because that is the highest possible contact rate. It's part of the secret sauce is, the multi-line hangs up on people. So it's going to have a much lower contact rate. It's going to blow through a lot more data. But the good thing is if you're calling over 10,000 homeowners, then it starts to make sense to blow through more data and just deal with the lower contact rate because it's hanging up on people, because it keeps your reps busy, like with minimal delays between conversations, right, BJ? So here on the single line, it's usually 20 to 30%, which is amazing. Have never seen another dialer data combo with that. What's it on the multi-line, BJ? Knowing that, yeah, it's gonna, yeah. And that's the way that multi-line works is like it calls 3 people. And if one person answers, it hangs up the other 2, right? So you're just going to have a lower contact rate when you're doing multi-line. Mm-hmm. So question 20 is, what are some good lists and filters to get property management clients? I'm not a property manager. I haven't used one. BJ, could you think of what might be a good list? I mean, obviously, absentee owners who have a portfolio. uh, yeah. The thing about property management as a business is in order to make $50,000 a year, you're getting the first month's rent, right? So if the average rent is like $1,000 to $2,000 on the property, you're going to need like 50 properties in order to make like $50,000 a year. So it's kind of tough to get that many onesie twosie properties. You're going to be able to make a living when you find somebody that actually has a portfolio. And if you're just starting, it might be hard to like convince somebody with 20 properties to let you manage them all of a sudden, somebody they don't know. So I would actually be more focused on local networking at your meetups and do try to get like 1 or 2 properties. And yeah, I don't know. That's just off the dome on how I would do it if I was trying to be in that business. Try to get to somebody with a portfolio, but know that you can't probably do that for your first one. So there you go. Question 21. Actually, I have another thing. So I just had an idea for you. I think the best type of person you could help is somebody who's pulling their hair out who lives out of state, because you could provide them value by being in state on the ground. Maybe they don't like their current property manager because it's not going well. Opportunity for you to step in and help. That would probably be the best type of client. So in DealMachine, there's actually a filter called like out of state owners. So there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. Question 21 about do not call list. I know that we are not calling to sell anything. However, I understand that if you are calling to buy a property, which you would then sell through another organization, not necessarily a real estate agency, this constitutes solicitation. Well, if you are speaking to them and you're saying, hey, I'm going to buy your property so that I can make a commission when I sell it, or I'm going to help you provide title company selection, or I'm going to provide you a service. If you're saying that on the phone, that is a violation. But we're strictly saying, would you like an offer on your house that I will be purchasing myself? And when you stick to a strict script, then through the case law on our blog posts and on our YouTube videos that have published multiple of, that would not be a violation. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm just analyzing the case law that's there and publishing the cases so you can look at them. So that's the difference there. So a lot of the TCPA lawsuits that exist with real estate investors, actually like 7 out of 9 are texting, because people text their website and then their website will have some page that mentions something that's kind of like selling something. And that's how texting is actually more riskier than calling. David says, okay, I signed up. Make sure I get my hack to rock out in public. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. And let's see here. Question 23. Can you break down the filters that you use? Well, we can, and we will. So there's a few different filters that I use in certain different places, but this is the one I showed earlier where it's using the building condition, with which a lot of counties, they do provide that equity percent over 50. So there's an opportunity to provide speed and convenience and get a good price. Last sale date over 15 years ago, single family home. I mean, just that could be a basic list on its own. But man, there's just all kinds. And BJ also used the filter for like it needs over 30,000 in repairs. And yeah. Right. If you're skip tracing, if you're going to be calling rather, and using that contact info, you do want to use the filter called contact is likely the property owner. Right here, contact has a phone number. Oh yeah, one more. Contact is likely the property owner, because then you're only going to build a list of people where we do have the contact info matched and there's a phone number to call. What percentage do you go for of ARV? So we are going to get more into comping the deal tomorrow night, but we can tell you, BJ, what's your rule of thumb? There you go. 25. Roughly how many calls with a cold caller could they call in 40 hours? So it depends on a single line or multi-line. So I could do, I would say, I mean, I did like 160 in an hour and a half. So let's just make it easy and say you could do 60 in an hour. You could do more for sure. So hopefully that helps you out on the single line dialer with a higher contact rate. If they're using a multi-line dialer, BJ, what are you thinking? So if you're doing 13,000 a week, that would be, you need the Pro Plus. Just yeah, you guys need the Pro Plus if you're doing 13,000 a week. All right. So question 26, how can you show to toggle? Can you show my last number called? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So the way that you would do that, I did last call date is unknown. But if you want to see the last property called, then we would do last call date is today. So let's say is equal to today. That's just if you want to go back and look at properties that I've got too many filters on. Sorry, I should clear some more of these filters. But yeah, so if you're just trying to start from where you left off, then the way to do it would be where did it go? Last call date is unknown. That would start where you left off. All right, 27. How many leads does he assign per caller per month? So BJ, you had 30 callers. You're saying you're doing like 8 deals a month. So that means one caller might get a deal every like 2-3 months, right? So how many leads to close a deal? It depends on how you define a lead, but tell us how you do it. Okay. AJ says, if you run into any issues during checkout, just reach out to our support team through the app or website and ask for a live representative. Can you identify between mobile and landline numbers? Yes, you can. Let me clear all these just to get leads coming back here in the filter. So looking at this person here, there's 3 numbers for this person: wireless, landline, landline. So they're marked there, and you can also filter those once you've exported. BJ's looking up how he defines the leads. It usually takes, he's got 30 callers. He does 8 deals a month. So that means one caller may generate a deal every 2 to 3 months. and there's going to be a certain number of leads where it's like, hey, it's somebody who does want to sell, but maybe like not right now, or maybe for a price that may or may not work. Those are called leads, right? Qualified leads, maybe some kind of motivation. He's checking on his numbers right now for you guys. Just a reminder for you guys that are on here, still a couple hundred between these two platforms. We've actually got DealMachine Black Friday demos tomorrow night. We're going to talk about closing the deal. So that's going to include doing more of a calculation for, what is the ARV? And we want you guys to bring, if you're somebody who's got 40 leads, but you haven't closed a deal, I want you to bring those leads back so BJ can revive them, and we will do that live and hand it off to you. So that's going to be an exciting night. Hey, that new office looks great. I do. All right. So I'm not seeing any more questions that my team has pulled up. I'm still willing to hang out for you guys, but want to respect BJ's time. BJ, really appreciate you being on here tonight. You can still hang out too, but I figured you probably have something else you have to do. I'm going to stay on for about 20 more minutes and make a few more calls, just because we've got 160 people here. I don't want to hang up on them, right? That's like, it's great to be with you guys. So I want to make sure, again, as more questions come up, put them in the chat. Team's going to bring them up here, and we'll have some fun. So anytime you need to go, BJ, you're welcome to, but I don't need you to or want you to. Just give you permission if you got something you got to get to. He's got 30 callers to manage, guys. So you got to give him some slack. Yes. See you tomorrow. Yep. All right. So, and I just got like 20 minutes before it hits 9 o'clock. So I'm going to go make some calls. Elise, are you there still? We're doing good. Awesome. Thank you for putting this together. I know everyone here really appreciates it. I certainly do. And the whole marketing team. So thank you guys. Question number 28 just came in. What commercial filters does a DealMachine have? So great question. And it's going to be an opportunity for me to show you how it can see the owners of LLCs as well. So let me go to the map and start a new search. And I would like to look for clearing the filters. So you're going to go to property type, additional property types. And man, there's a whole lot here. So what I'm going to do is search for, you said commercial, right? So there's just so many types of commercial buildings. You got office, like mixed office and residential, just commercial in general. You've got auto transport and storage. You've got condo offices, commercial vacant land, industrial. You've got skyscraper high rise, mobile commercial, funeral home, daycare. There's also like some of you guys are in storage. So there's all types of storage, right? So like bulk fuel storage, mini warehouses, shipyard storage. Obviously, Montana is not going to have a shipyard, but you guys get the idea. So one thing, I had a buddy looking for a warehouse, right? So you could search for a warehouse, and let's build a list of warehouses in. Man, I feel like Dallas is obviously an expensive area. Let me go to back to St. Louis. Might as well go back to St. Louis there. All right, so confirm. Now it's going to take a minute and find me any good warehouses here in St. Louis that fit that criteria. Different counties call it different stuff, but it looks like we've got a small list of 2,300 properties there. So let's build it so we could take a look. And without even building the list, you guys know you can actually preview what some of these warehouses look like. And this one has an LLC. And then the organizer of the LLC is Joseph Aduwami. And man, this guy's got 7 properties. He's 57 years old. And his portfolio value is somewhere in the range of 6 million to 15 million, because his total loan balance is 15 million. Interesting. Sometimes that happens if one of his properties isn't showing up, but the mortgage is. And so that's why I would think that would show up like that, just in case you guys encounter that. All right. So that answers the commercial filters. and LLC demonstration as well. So question 29, please, how can I know the answer of how the leads are calling you back if you call them via your PC? So they just call the number back and it will show up on your computer, and it'll also ring your cell phone, because you can go to the app settings and you can click on dialer settings and you can click on the callback number. So these will determine what happens when somebody calls you back after being called from your dialer. These are personal and do not affect any members on your team. So if you have somebody dialing, they need to put the right callback number on here as well, which might be your cell phone, not theirs. Question 30. All right. It's getting close to 3 a.m. here. Where are you guys? With the voice cloning, I tried it, but I have an Irish accent. Oh, you're from Ireland. Fantastic. And it generated an American accent. Is that likely to change, or is it more focused on replicating the pitch and pace? You know what? That is pretty interesting. And I really don't know the answer. Honestly, I've always heard it mimic what the sound is, but I've never had somebody with an accent ask about that. So we'll just have to take that back to the team and see what they have to say. Sorry about the lack of knowledge there, but I do not know. It's so funny. That's a new one. So question 31, best way to find buyers on DealMachine. So if you have a property and you've got it under contract and you're deciding, hey, instead of buying this myself, I think I'll wholesale it, or at least see what somebody would pay for a wholesale deal. I would go and try to filter for properties in, we've got a couple ways, but this is how I would do it. I'm going to delete the warehouses and I'm going to go back to property type. Single family. And okay. Apply. I'm going to go to beds and baths. So three. Let's say you have a 3-2 under contract, and let's say perfect condition is like 200 to 300,000. Then I would look for people who bought these, absentee owner, that sold recently. So then I would do last sale date is less than a year ago. See if that brings back any properties. So here's some properties that were just sold in the last year by an absentee owner, which means they're a landlord, and they just bought a property exactly like this. So let's take a look at this list. You could build it and get in touch with the owners, but you could see, this person, bought this ARM LLC, bought the property, and they've got some nested companies here, which tells me Amherst. Guess what, guys? Amherst is a hedge fund. So if y'all were ever wondering who is buying, what type of hedge funds are buying, this one was just bought by Amherst. And these are the actual executive vice presidents of Amherst, and the COO, and also the VP and secretary and the chief financial officer. So you probably just want to get in touch with Amherst acquisitions agent, but I'm telling you, the LLC search is so powerful. This is the top 5 officers of one of the top hedge funds that buys single family homes. So there you go. AJ answered in the chat. We had the same answer on the Irish accent. Okay, same page. It's literally never been asked. We've never encountered this, so we need to figure out how that accent works. Beautiful. But this is so cool, dude. Look, I mean, this is the officer of the hedge fund here. Personal phone numbers, emails. So, guys, that was a really random, great example. I'm super thankful to get to show you that. What was the question? I think the question was how to find buyers, right? So, I mean, that would be a buyer. Call up Amherst, okay, if you have that type of property in St. Louis, because they just bought one and they buy a lot. You saw his portfolio on there, but this is more of a individual property owner. So this is absentee owned. Gloria Schumer owns it. Well, she only owns one property, so it's probably not the right person. So let's go to Amy. Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, that's how I would go find buyers. We also have this other filter that's like less work, that if you just do the quick filter of cash buyers, that you'll generate a list that way too. So it's just going to be general cash buyers, though. It's not going to be like honed in to your exact type of property that you have. But you can see, I mean, there's 87,000 properties here. But the thing is, they're not all going to be the type of property that you buy. They might be buying land. They might be buying warehouses. So I like filtering it down how I just did. And we found the hedge fund. So there you go. All right. What else you guys got? Any other questions? Oh, Matt Camp is on. Matt Camp is the man to call if you guys need like higher volume data, more than 60,000 per month. He's the guy. Again, that place to get in touch with Matt if you need a large volume of data is DealMachine.com/Matt. He's saying, hey, in the chat. Thanks for being here, Matt. So question 32, do you need an LLC to start wholesaling? I'm not a lawyer, but I have done my first 10 deals in my own name. And, Rich Dad, Poor Dad says you need a business entity before you do business. The way I personally approached it was I wanted to generate revenue and prove that I could generate revenue before wasting, time talking to an accountant about money I haven't made yet. So, that's just going to be you and your attorney that decide that. But legally, you don't need to have an LLC to get a property under contract or assign it. So hopefully that helps. I try to give you guys the best advice that I can, not being, an attorney or these official things. And I always think it's helpful to do that through my own experiences and the experience of helping, 10,000 people as well through working with DealMachine. So let's see. Matt Camp is getting some love from Jeff saying Matt Camp is the man. Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you at the Springboard event a couple months ago and in person. And Jeff is he's upgraded. He's got the Pro plan, or maybe he just upgraded to the Pro Plus. I think he meant the Black Friday deal, and you got to run. So thanks, Jeff. Perfect. And Barisa says, I'm very happy about winning today. I'm from Springboard to Wealth and can't wait to get engaged with DealMachine and start getting my deals. Thanks. That is awesome. Barisa, it's so great. Enjoyed being out there with you guys at the Springboard event a couple of months ago in Huntington Beach. So keep the questions coming. And let's see here. I might. Yeah, I saw that, Elise. Thanks for posting Barisa's comment there in the chat. And then the closer says he needs 2 hats last year and this year. Well, the closer, you the best, man, for getting 2 Black Friday deals. You didn't get a hat last year? We offered the hats last year. Are you saying you didn't get one? Well, we'll make sure you get a hat. All right, so let me go to Long Beach, California, where it's a little bit earlier. It might be better for calling, so it's getting close to 9 o'clock. Long Beach. So get rid of St. Louis. And I wonder if there's any rundown houses in Long Beach. Let me try this real estate investor leads save filter that uses the county building condition. Let's see. Oh, I think I just undid my filters. Shoot. There we go. All right, got them in there. And property type single family. All right, let's see if that loads up. Long Beach is really great if you guys are in California because they just had the whole state of California. They passed Senate Bill 9, which means you can actually split your big lot into small lots very quickly without having to wait for a lot of zoning changes. So that allows you to take a house that's run down, maybe buy it for $500,000. Let's say ARV is 800, so you put 100 into it, and you could make 100,000 on that. Well, if it's got a big lot, previously you couldn't have split that in any sort of fast way because the regulations in California take a long time. But now you can split that. I was talking with Eric Escobar. He was doing one with 6 deals. So the land value is usually more than the house in California. So you could get a building loan to build 5 more, separate homes. And the parcel of land is actually like your down payment because it's worth so much. And you could split it off and condoize it and build additional houses on that. So he's going to be able to make $1 million from doing those new builds on a house that he would have only made like 100 or 200,000. So Senate Bill 9 allowed that in California. It's a big deal for the whole state, but Long Beach was a decent area, I think, for these types of deals. I'm curious. It said there's 189 county reported rundown houses there. So let's see. Oh, with over 50% equity and all that. So let's see what these things look like. Patrick Brooks is now giving Jeff some props. He goes, "How are you, my friend? Funny seeing a master like you here." That's right. Jeff's done like 47 wholesale deals when I spoke to him last month. So he is on fire. Member of the Springboard community as well. Oh yeah, this thing looks run down. I don't know if that's a single family house. I might have forgot to click that filter again. Let me add that here. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, that one's great. Let's see if Jill is home.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Okay, we'll drop one there. And let's end this session. And let's start a new session over here in California just for maybe 10 minutes, right? I told you guys to make some more calls. So I want to deliver for those of you guys who stuck around. I see 120 of you here, which is fantastic. My computer is all of a sudden sounding like a rocket ship. So hopefully it makes it to the end. All right, 10 properties. We're going all in on these 10 properties here. Alba says, "I'm super excited about buying the Pro plan. Thanks so much. I have to go." Alba, get it before this webinar ends in 8 minutes. Otherwise, you won't get the extras like the hat, the group onboarding, the 400 free minutes or 33 free postcards. So please click the link in the top right and get it before the webinar ends. I want to see you have that extra. We know the closer was super excited about his hat. So just in case that onboarding, which I know will be helpful. There you go. She says, "I got it."
Hi, this is Anna Stevens. Please leave a message and I will get right back to you. Have a great day.
There we go. You love it when it says the name on the owner, Anna Stevens. That's what we wanted to see. It would be nice to have permanent save filters. You can actually do that. I've saved my own filters, and that's how I brought them up. So you guys can do that too.
I'm available to call.
All right, Tony. Got a couple more calls to make. Oh, another one for Tony over on Daisy Avenue. So I clicked the house to bring that one up.
Forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
So the Black Friday deal is going till December 3rd, but you have to do it during a webinar if you want the extras. So that's going to be like 5 minutes or so. We're going to sign off here just so you guys know. Crystal wants to know, how do you access recording? And I'm not sure. Oh yeah, thanks, Elise. Perfect.
Five, 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 seven. Can't take your call now. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, simply hang up or press pound for further options.
There you go, Valerie. A little message from me. Calling you on one more number. All right, let's go to, this is a new property on Daisy Avenue. Well, actually, same property. Hector. All right, Hector on Daisy Avenue. Uh-oh. I wonder if the time limit has approached. All right, yeah, maybe so. Well, anyway, I wanted you guys to just see how the data, when it's calling somebody, it's the person who's on the ownership of record, and getting in touch with the right person is half the battle. You've seen the success that BJ has had, and we want that same success for you. We're going to come back tomorrow. If you have any leads that you need help reviving, we want to be able to do that with you. So please come back tomorrow, bring your leads, have them like in a Google Doc, so that way you can like link them in the chat so we can easily open them up. That would be, well, I guess, how can we do this, Elise? How can they send the lead? Would that be the best way? Have them ready. Yeah. Yep. So we're signing off for now. Appreciate you guys staying with us till the very end. I hope that you got a lot from it, and I appreciated answering all your questions and spending a couple